Hey, Wilmington, this is Dr. C.T. Curry, and I'm excited to announce that The Source is coming. You may ask, what is The Source? Well, it's a news show every Sunday at 5 p.m. From 5 to 6, we're going to bring you relevant news. We're going to bring in people who are making the policies for our city and for our state to make sure that you are kept up to date. Integrity will be where we are. I'm excited. The Source is coming. Good afternoon. I'm C.T. Curry.
I'm Kobe Owens.
And I'm Jay Street.
Listen, today we are launching our first The Source show. We're going to make sure that we do what we have to do to ensure quality programming, and we're going to give you the community information as it is. This is not a time to be bought or biased, but it is a time to make sure that you are well informed.
I hope and trust that you have certainly learned something today, and I hope that you watched, and we're going to hold people accountable. We are definitely going to call back in our representative so that he can explain his position, especially in the Delaware situation. And we do miss you, Brother Jay, this week, but we hope to see you very shortly.
Yes.
We're signing off now. This is C.T. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
Saying, have a good night.
Take care, y'all.
Well, Brother Kobe, we have come to the end of a year and the beginning of a new. By the time we air this broadcast, it will be a brand new year, 2022.
Yes.
And as I said to the congregation, God has kept us and we are still here and doing well. Today, I am just honored and thrilled that we have the brilliant mind of Councilwoman Shanae Darby with us today. Yes. Brother Kobe, she could not make it last week, but she made it this week. So we're just so grateful. And I want to say, before you even say anything today, welcome to the show, and we are delighted to have you with us.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I was like, I gotta join the team. You know, y'all talking about some good stuff, educating the community, and just getting the community connected to the politics, what's going on. So it's good things, good things.
Welcome to The Source. To all of you who are watching us, Happy New Year's to you. This is the first day of the brand new year. I hope and trust that whatever resolutions you have, you hold to them. And the ones you decided you didn't make last year, just add them to this year, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Welcome to The Source. First, we want to say Happy New Year to all of you. And listen, I haven't seen you guys since last year.
Yeah.
How you been doing?
It's been good. It's been good. It's good to be back with everyone. And I just want to let everyone know, yes, I am running for Wilmington City Council 1st District. I'm super excited. This is the community in which I was born and raised in. It's the community that helped raise me. It's the community that I give back to constantly. I sit on the board of the PAL Center, which is in the heart of the district, working with hundreds of families throughout the district. I'm running on a platform of increasing our affordable housing stock, addressing our crisis that we're currently having, looking at quality of life issues, making sure that we're able to help every resident age in place in their homes, making sure that we're expanding senior programming, expanding youth programming in the district as well too.
The police folks, because they were upset with Leo Boy and a couple other things that happened, came up against him real strong, put money out there and made sure they got him silenced. I gave him my check today because I don't want to be one of those ones who just supporting, but I want to be one of those ones who can help him put some signs on the street. I can't vote for him. I have a congregation and I'm going to be pushing it there too. And several of them live in the 1st District. But it's important that you understand they don't want him in city council. They don't want him elected into any office because he will bring issues and will upset the establishment, but not in a disrespectful way. I've not seen Kobe in a meeting. There were times we were fighting for people. Kobe sit there and he's strategic and making sure he's heard. We need him. So I'm begging you in my preacher voice. If I was a Baptist preacher, I'll start humming for you right quickly. but I'm begging you to please vote. Please vote. 1st District, there's an obligation we have to make sure we lift up as we are moving forward. And I think Kobe will be your person. As I sent him a donation today, I gave it to him directly. I want to make sure you get that opportunity too. He's been on this show for the entire time. Many of you have said to me, Pastor, where's Kobe? I haven't seen him in a week or so. He's out there fighting and trying to make stuff happen. Sometimes he can't make the show, but he's always been here, starting with Jay Street. Then he remained once Jay left us, and he's still here now. I am grateful, and I hope that you will be too.
This is Kobe Owens.
And he's also elect 1st District, what I would call representative for the city of Wilmington.
Yes.
I had to interrupt our little flow because I'm so happy and proud of you.
Thank you.
To all of you who are watching, all of you who are part of the 1st District who decided to just not go with establishment and go with the grassroots, we thank you. Again, this is Dr. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
And welcome to The Source. Good evening. This is Dr. Curry.
This is Kobe Owens.
And welcome to The Source. As you've seen, this is our 200th viewing of The Source. Wow, what a great time.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. It's been one fun ride coming here and talking not only with you, with Jay and all the different guests we've had over the
Yes.
time as well too, but making sure that we get news out to the community. It's been fun.
Yeah, we're doing this in our own little way. You know, there are those who get paid big bucks, and I know certainly one day you will certainly get to that level where you'll be able to report on a real channel. But I'm very grateful for Jay Street because we were going through a lot of battles and fights, and I didn't know you at the time, but I knew Jay was a fighter, so I said we need to begin to expose certain things, and Jay came on, and he really got the fire in this show.
Yeah.
And I miss him even now, because even though you are a fighter, it was Jay who had the license to say things that we just can't say.
I know that's right. We've always been very bold here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know, aiming to inspire the community, keep them informed. But then also, you know, Jay Street is a legend who's fought for so much. So again, him being here also added that extra spark here as well too. But 200.
Yes, 200.
200.
I mean, it's a blessing, and that you said it's been fun. There have been some challenges also, and I'm very grateful for one thing I do want to say is that we've had an opportunity to see 2 administrations too.
Yeah.
The whole goal of this show is to talk about Wilmington and where we are, and it was birthed out of an administration that was really just messed up and just did not love people. So to be at our 200th show is really, I'm very happy. And I want to say also thanks to Sinead Darby, who served with us for a short span of time, and I wish her well in what she's doing even now with the city council. But so far it's just been Jay, you, I, and Sinead Darby, and I hope and trust that we certainly continue to do the things we got to do to keep Wilmington informed. And for those of you who watch us every week, I want to say thank you to you as well, because you are telling us I'm watching. Even though Channel 28 right now is in transition, you're still watching us on the YouTube channel, and we truly appreciate it. We're going to try our best to continue to give you the best. So again, to you, Brother Kobe, thank you for all the talent that you bring to the show now, and not paid. I want to make sure that's very clear. This is volunteer work. So if you need me to sign one of those sheets in that you do volunteer work, I will make sure I do that, because you bring a lot of substance to the show. And I don't ever want that to be discounted, and I don't want that to be lost in the messaging that we do. So we look forward to another 200 not years, but 200 shows. Hopefully that we'll be able to get back on Channel 28 as well as continue to grow this show. Is there anything else you want to go on that area?
Again, I just want to say thank you for creating space to elevate voices and stories that are so important to the community. And it has helped not only on the spiritual path, but also on growing the social justice movement here in the city of Wilmington, and keeping people informed. Again, information is probably your greatest weapon in fighting injustice.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially now that we got rid of a interesting mayor. Now we got a crazy president. So we're gonna keep it live. This week we're glad and we're happy on our 20th show, 200th show. We're glad to announce that there were no shootings that were reported that we are aware of in the city of Wilmington, and I'm very grateful for that today. And matter of
fact, it's really looking good. It's feeling good. We still got some things going on with some car break-ins and things of that nature, but we can't stop all the crime at one time. But this is a good sign. At this time last year, we were really up there in the numbers, but we were doing much better. There are some updates I do want to give, because just as we want to report when there are shootings, we ought to report that the police are actively working.
Yeah.
We have 2 updates we want to give. First, it was two arrests in connection to the Wilmington shooting that happened at the 700 block of East 10th Street. You know anything about that?
Yeah. So again, this happened about a month ago, right? So it was a very quick timeline in which the Wilmington Police Department was able to identify who they believe are the 2 suspects and make those arrests. So again, they identified 19-year-old and was able to arrest him on May the 8th. And again, on May the 5th, they were able to arrest a 39-year-old as well too. Again, they are being held in Gander Hill right now, one on a $38,000 cash only bail, and another on a $500,000 cash only bail, facing first degree assault, possession of firearm, doing a commission of a felony, reckless endangerment, carrying a concealed deadly weapon, firearm, ammunition by a person prohibited, and other charges as well too. So again, I am glad to see the quick work here, and this is what we want to see more of here in the city of Wilmington, them being able to solve these cases in a very timely manner.
So what's the difference between the old administration and the new one, in that we never had this type of responses, and now all of a sudden we got all these arrests?
So I think priorities, right? So new administration can restructure the police department to meet their priorities, how they want. So you can add more manpower to the detective side or to cold case. We have a new updated, well, it's in the process of continuing to be updated, gun forensics lab, right? So again, bringing all that stuff in-house makes it able for us to be quicker when it comes to solving crimes here in the city of Wilmington.
Yeah, well, same chief of police, just different head over top of them.
Now, I will say, this shows that, Chief Campos always had that potential.
Yes.
You saw some of it under the last administration, but now I believe he has a little more freedom to kind of implement his community policing and stuff like that, build those relationships that have been broken for so long. So you're seeing things happen quicker here. And
different
again,
priorities. You answered it right the first time. But there's also another update too. A 19-year-old in Wilmington was been arrested with connection to something that happened just in March.
Yes. So on March 22nd, there was a shooting on Banning Street, the 1300 block, and that's where they found a 17-year-old male with a gunshot. He arrived at the hospital in stable condition, but they have arrested on May 6th in the 100 block of Cedar. They were able to make an arrest in which they were able, without incident, arrest a 19-year-old in connection to that shooting. And he's currently being held at Gander Hill right now on a $60,000 cash only bail as he awaits trial.
For those who are watching us, Kobe, what's the difference between that? What do you mean when they say a cash only bail? Cash only.
So there's a few different types of bails. So you have cash only. You have oh my God, why am I forgetting? You have cash only. You have cash bail. You have secured and property bonds as well too. Now again, some of it's all different. It also depends on what type of court that you're in, but mainly cash only bail pretty much means that you have to it's the most accessible type of bail, which means you have to put up a certain amount of money, whatever the bail is set to be able to be released.
Okay. So if it's $60,000 cash bail, does that mean you got to put up $60,000, or does that mean you got to put up $6,000?
Usually, that's where bail bondsmen come in. So
Okay.
bail bondsmen, charge you a lesser percentage, right? So they may charge you 10% of the bail. So if it's a 60,000, they'll put up. You pay them 6,000, they'll put up to 60,000. As long as you show up to your court date, they get their money back.
Okay.
If they don't, then that's when you get a bounty on you.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure people know the difference between the two, because sometimes I get confused with them as well. One of the things that did trouble me this week, and I'm not even from Wilmington, but there's some restaurants, some stores are staples in our community.
Yes.
And they've been there forever. And if you say a name, immediately people know who you're talking about. If you want to go get a sub, you go to Lucy's. I guess they're good for their subs, their hoagies, and things of that nature. They've been there for a very, very long time. And I saw that a man came in and he attacked one of the employees. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, there was an altercation between a 30-year-old man and one of the employees that led to some yelling. And then he made a threat that he would kill one of the employees. He allegedly then punched one of the employees several times and placed his arm around the employee's neck. Individuals were able to separate the two individuals, but then the police arrived. He was taken into custody without incident. The employee was taken to the hospital with non-threatening injuries. Pratt received some minor injuries. I guess that was from them trying to pull him apart. But he's being charged with strangulation, felony, assault in the 3rd degree, terroristic threatening, and disorderly conduct. He's currently being held at Howard Young as well too.
So he's at Howard Young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just, when I saw that, I was kind of concerned, because that's one of the restaurants I've even gone into several times, and I still do. Go and one thing about it, you can get a salad there that can feed your whole family, because they don't give you a little bit. They give you a whole lot of whatever they serve.
Right.
You. Sometimes it's over fatty, but it is what it is, and that's what we're used to.
No, but Lucy's is a staple in the community, has been for years. I love going to Lucy's.
I know.
Kids at the center go to Lucy all the time.
Yeah, and it's not too far from y'all.
1 block. Yep.
It's right there where the Powell Center is. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And by the way, how's Powell Center doing, given all these cuts and things going on?
It's going good. Actually, Delmarva has affected us more than the federal cuts.
I'm gonna look at you funny, because I saw our bill last month. I guess they must be watching the show, so we're gonna get them.
Right. But no, it's things are going good. We're concerned about the potential cuts, how it could impact families who come to our center, whether it's their SNAP benefits, Medicaid, Medicare for the grandparents who are also raising their grandkids. Even though we primarily deal with youth, we consider the whole family our family as well. Absolutely. Too. So we're concerned, but the center itself is doing well.
Great. One last thing I want to talk about that happened in the city of Wilmington, from one of the middle school principals.
Yes.
It's interesting, because I know of her, and her family, but she was accused and now have pleaded guilty to raping a child for 4 years while in middle school. Now, that affects people personally. But first, let's just talk about what you know about the case, and then we'll get into some of the comments I wanted to make on it.
Yeah, why she worked for Stanton Middle out in Newcastle. The incidents happened all between the years of 2010, 2014. She later became a principal and was assigned to AI Middle, which is right over the line, right outside the city of Wilmington, where she became the principal there. And she was there until she was fired in September 2024. This is about a year after it came out that she had pending charges against her for engaging in a sexual relationship with a minor, with one of her students at the time, who was a middle school young lady. Again, this all took place over 4 years. The real big concern that people have right now is why, if this happened in 2023, that the case started and it was pending charges there, Why wasn't she fired until September
That's right.
2024? Even if she was on leave, she should have been fired. But why wasn't the parents of AI Middle also notified?
That's
I
right.
believe only a few parents from Stanton Middle from that time period was notified. But which honestly, if she was still at Stanton until 2020, all those parents should have been notified.
That's right.
And the parents at AI Middle should have been notified
She
as
was
well.
well
too.
connected, I'm told.
Yes.
And being well connected, and sometimes even with media, they're able to couch things and hide things. And I really have some serious issues with this. I don't care whether I know the person or not. This is a child. This is a young, for 4 years. And one person, on the street, that's one of the sources that I got is that the child agreed. The child cannot agree.
The child can't agree.
They can't. I mean, even if the child did agree, can't agree because the child is underage.
Your brain, and they say that it's different for men and women. They say women, your brain develops at 21. Men, we take a few extra years at 25.
50.
But especially someone who is so young, you're so able to be manipulated.
Right.
It doesn't matter how mature or they listen to old school music or anything like that. They're still in their development age.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who's making the excuse or trying to justify what
Right.
she did,
That's right.
you're absolutely, completely wrong.
Mm-hmm. And for those individuals who are working with children, I guess the message that needs to be sent is this: we must be appropriate at all times. You know, in the Bible, I'm not here to preach no sermon, but the Bible says, don't let your good be evil spoken of. We should not even have the appearance.
Mm-hmm.
We should not even have the appearance of allowing young, and in this case, it was a homosexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it be a homosexual relationship or a heterosexual relationship, we should not have the appearance where we are being inappropriate with children,
Correct.
young people. And if a person works at a school, I don't care if a person is of age, there should not be anything going on. And for them to, people to try to justify because they knew her, she was a nice person and she was married too. Does that really matter? You know, some of these things is just crazy. And when I heard about this case and then I got into the details of it, figuring out who it was and who they were connected to, it saddened me that it took so long for the parents to be informed.
Yeah.
It saddened me that it took so long for the school board not school board, but the district to be able to act upon it and act upon it in a way where it protected our children. I wonder if there are other children who just did not come forward and say anything, and because they've been silenced or they don't even know to say anything.
That's true too.
Because normally when there's one case, there's 2, 3, or 4,
Mm-hmm.
and because you see what's going on with P. Diddy at this point, it's like everything is coming open. But I just really feel bad for the family, for those young people who looked up to her, and also for the education community, because they once again got to get a strike because of the behavior of one who did not want to be a professional. And I'm just concerned about it, and I don't know what's gonna end up coming out of it, but it is what it is. Is there anything else, Kobe, you have for this segment?
That's all I have for this segment.
Well, as we're going to continue to do is say happy 200th episode, and we're excited and sad that we had some of this sad news, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Smiles are powerful. A simple smile can light up a whole room. And for 25 years, Smile Train has been lighting up the world with smiles. And each smile marks a step towards a brighter future. As the world's largest cleft lip and palate charity, Smile Train has supported more than 2 million life-changing cleft surgeries in over 90 countries, leaving a legacy of resilience, joy, and beaming smiles for generations of children. To learn more about cleft lips and palates and how Smile Train is supporting the cleft community all over the world, please visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, lighting up the world with smiles for 25 years.
As a mom, I want my kids' lives to be filled with joy and possibility. And I want that for every kid. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. They work in schools and communities to make sure every kid gets the healthy meals they need. Please join me in supporting No Kid Hungry for all kids.
Thank you.
Join us live for our weekly worship. Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Pastor, I'm doing the best I can, but I still gotta have a little Chardonnay, and I still gotta have a little this, and I gotta still sneak around. The devil is a liar. That's an excuse.
Wilmington's most exciting church.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
This land we love belongs to all of us. Yet not everyone is treated equally. Right now, millions of Americans are fighting for the things promised to all by the Constitution: freedom, justice, equality. The ACLU is leading the fight to protect our civil liberties. Together, we can protect and advance our rights nationwide, because we the people means all of us.
This land was made for you and me.
Learn how the ACLU is defending the right to vote, free speech, and other civil liberties at myaclu.org.
I'm Christopher Holton. I'm very active. It was a Saturday morning. Normally I go for my normal walk.
With no warning, Chris suffered a near-fatal heart attack. But thankfully, Brian Buckley, a bystander, saw him collapse and rushed to help.
He did this big gasp for air and then just stopped. It's like I went into autopilot. It's like all that training I did back in the day around CPR just magically came out of nowhere.
Because of the CPR training that Brian received, Chris did make it and didn't die on the trail that day. CPR training provided by the American Heart Association.
Looking at your hands, these two hands could save a life.
Being a father, you want to be around. You want to be around for your kids.
Heart disease is America's #1 killer. To learn more about how the American Heart Association helps save lives, go to helpheart.org.
And we're back. Well, we're back for the 200th Kobe's Corner episode. What do you have for us today?
So earlier this week, I got a chance to be in D.C. And watch our Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester and our neighbor and Senator Angela Alsabrook, two Black women, serve on the same committee. It's called the HELP Committee, the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Senate Committee. Have a hearing. That committee had a hearing in which they questioned our current health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, again, he was trying to justify his budget cuts, saying that even though he didn't cut programs, staffing cuts won't affect those. Those programs won't be affected by staffing cuts.
Doesn't make sense.
Our Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester questioned him about a maternal health program in which it helps educates new moms on how to properly have a baby, right? Once the baby's born. Things like not letting the baby sleep on his stomach and all this other stuff, right? And she asked him, do you believe your cuts will have an impact on this program? And he said, no, the program is still standing. The program's going to keep going on. And she said, how is that if you fired everyone who worked in that program? He said, even though they're not there, the program's still there. So what's the issue? Senator also Brooks asked him if he knew where certain departments under him was located. What offices were they located in? And he couldn't answer that. He didn't know the difference between NIH and CDC and what each one of them did. That's huge. CDC, again, Center of Control, Disease Control, COVID. We have the largest measles outbreak right now, bird flu. Their work is critical. When asked by other senators, can you tell us what is your plan to reinstate some of the scientists? His answer was, no working scientists were fired. So they asked him, what is a working scientist? And he couldn't even define what that is. Senator Sanders opened the meeting as the ranking member, circling back to a press conference earlier in the week in which RFK and Trump said that they're going to bring down prescription medicine, even though Trump already signed an executive order overturning Biden's capping insulin and prescription drugs at a certain rate. Now they're saying it's causing a burden for people. So America is going to pay cheaper than Europe. And Bernie offered to help with that on how to actually make it done, like he did with the Biden administration. And RFK wasn't committed to working with him. So again, don't be confused by the lip service that they're doing.
But let me just say this to you. One of the things that I'm very concerned about, and this with the whole of Trump administration right now, they want their big, beautiful bill to go through. They have cut so many people. I believe their thoughts are, people are red tape, and money is what matters. So, for example, when he responded to Lisa Blunt Rochester, he said, hey, the program is still here. In other words, we still have the money to go in, but if you don't have the people to regulate and to handle it, what happens is we find ourselves, it ain't working. How do we get to further investigation to find out whether or not, Sid, for example, you talked about that earlier, whether a child is placed in the bed the right way. You need people there to regulate the area, but they feel, hey, we're going to still send you $1 million like we sent last time. But if it's not regulated, we're going to have a lot more people using money inappropriately, and people will not be served appropriately. And that's what I'm coming away with all of his answers.
The meeting did get tense at certain points. Again, it was an honor to be able to sit in and watch that live. There was an arrest made. Ben Cohen.
Yeah.
You may not know his name, but I'm sure you've all at least tried his ice cream once from Ben and Jerry's. He was arrested in the meeting for standing up saying that RFK's hate will kill people. And he shot it out during the meeting. Capitol Police got very rough with him and escorted him out. Again, he was just charged with obstruction and resisting arrest, I believe. He has the money to pay for it, though.
Sure.
But I think that is what millionaires should be doing. They should be speaking out against this. And Ben and Jerry's, both of them have been very vocal about being, even though that they are wealthy, they take very good care of their staff all the way down to the custodians. They make a livable wage. Based on the state that you live in. You don't usually see that across. You see national companies just have a flat line across.
That's right.
Depending what state you live in.
California is different.
Cost of living is more expensive. So they are very good when it comes to that. But they have been very vocal about not liking Trump, not liking these policies. America should be a more humane place. And for him to risk arrest again, I think that was huge to put his body on the line, because he knows his own privilege that he can afford to the attorneys and everything to do an action like that. But someone needed to speak out.
And so many people are kissing the ring, and they are not speaking out because they want to stay and carry a favor with Trump. But that's kudos to him.
The meeting was about 2 hours long. Again, questioning from both sides and everything. RFK, during his confirmation hearing, had promised that he was going to respond to messages and everything. And our senator pulled up multiple letters and emails sent to his department in which she hasn't gotten a response. And then at the beginning, when he in his opening statement, he said America's not leading in healthcare because of DEI. I was a little disappointed in all the Democratic senators that it took until Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester and Senator Alsobrooks for someone to bring that up and challenge that. But that's also why it's so important to make sure that you have diversity on these committees, and especially 2 Black women who have background in health. Senator Blunt Rochester was our former health secretary here in Delaware. So again, worked in that department. She was our labor secretary, sorry. So again, this is very critical. But I also wanted to talk about a few other things going on here in Delaware. So there was a story that broke earlier this week announcing that our Speaker of the House, Melissa Minor Brown, sent a 1-sentence memo to Representative Ray Moore that said, after careful consideration, you're being removed from the House Education Committee as of today, May 13th. Representative Moore was the vice chair of the committee and a member, and she's the only educator on that committee. Last month, there was an article that came out that stated that over 400 public school educators were working with either expired or missing licenses in March. And Representative Moore was one of those who had a missing license. The Speaker of the House stated that because she did not disclose that she didn't have an updated license, and she had commented on a bill that had something to do with it, she was removing her from the integrity of the committee. Now, Representative Moore has put out a statement in response to that, saying on May 13th, 2025, Speaker Melissa Minor Brown removed me without warning or explanation from my roles as vice chair and member of the House Education Committee. A single sentence memo erased the voice of the only active educator in the General Assembly. Let me be clear, this is not about credentials. I'm in full compliance. This is about control, and it's about solacing someone who advocates boldly for students, family, and teachers. It's political theater, not principled leadership. I'm proud of the work that I've done on HB 15, which promotes play-based learning and protects early childcare educators, and HB 125, providing free meals for all students, a bill that she's fought for years, and many of her colleagues do not agree. I've partnered with the Hunt Institute to research how to strengthen teacher certification and support for profession and promote teacher diversity. As a mother educator, I ran for office to ensure policy reflect real lived experience of working families. Removing me from this committee isn't a personal slight. It's a disservice to every Delaware student. And she goes on to say she won't be silenced and everything like that. There is an ongoing rift between her and leadership. There was the chair of the committee introduced a competing bill, it breaks tradition. She asked for a meeting to sit down to kind of talk it out so that they wouldn't look like they're fighting in public. And leadership told her no, they wouldn't be willing to do that. And then after that, there was a bill introduced that will remove all teachers who don't have licenses from the classroom. Again, 400 educators from the classroom.
When a person, for a bill to go forward like that, I understand the necessity for having your license. Don't misunderstand that. I don't want my comments to be misconstrued. However, there are temporary licenses that are issued while people are still doing things in transition. Do you know how that's going to impact the state of Delaware? You said 400. That's
400.
Huge for the state of Delaware.
So, and that is what Representative Moore offered as an amendment, that if you can prove that you're enrolled in the classes, or you get a waiver that says, hey, you're taking the steps to get your license, you would be able to stay in the room. And they're using that against her and saying, oh, well, you enrolled in classes last semester, to finish your certificate, to update your certification. So this would impact you to keep you in the classroom. So that's a violation of the rules.
She a teacher?
She is a teacher. She's the only active teacher. I would think that is something you would want someone to speak up for. I get that it also impacts her. But if educators are trying to take the right steps to get that updated certification, and the school districts haven't been notifying the teachers of when their licenses have expired and stuff like that, then we should be trying to work with them. We're already in a teacher shortage right now. And this is just going to cause even more harm. And I can almost guarantee you where most of these school educators are located.
That's right. And in the inner cities,
Yeah.
with children who are in desperate need of educators, I think you should have your certifications. I had mine when I was doing it, and here even in our child care we have to have teachers who are certified, but I just think if a person is in the process of it, we need to give them an opportunity, give them a time. Now, for them not to have been informed, this is where I'm concerned at. For them not to have been informed that you don't have your certification, you will not be able to return next fall or whenever, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because now we're going to go from a shortage to a crisis. And they introduced a bill. The question is the bill has the bill been voted on?
It's been voted out of committee.
Out of committee.
It has not had a floor vote as of this filming. It may be getting one within the next few days.
Well, we need to really follow this one, Kobe. We really need to follow this one. This one should not just be, okay, we said it and it's over, because we got to watch the fallout of this.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Trump administration. We don't care. You don't have something, you out.
Yeah.
It's not good. You can't go through things. You got to be careful, because it's going to impact a lot of lives. And a lot of times it always impact the lives of the underprivileged.
I agree with you. So again, just want to keep that top of the mind. I'm going to be following this story very closely as we go through. I did have a few more points that I wanted to bring up. One of them is there's 2 immigration bills that are going through the General Assembly now. HB 58, which will prohibit police from detaining individuals solely based off of immigration status, and HB 96, which require the office, an office within the Delaware Delaware Attorney General to monitor and report local law enforcement sharing information with federal agencies. We saw in Camden they assigned a 287G agreement, which I talked about on the last show. Again, that has since been rescinded, but we just want to make sure that we keep an eye on those things.
How's the governor? Have there been any comments on that?
I believe he's supportive of both of them. I definitely know he's supportive of HB 258. But I do know he has made it very well known that he doesn't want the state police sharing unnecessary data with federal agencies unless someone is like a search warrant for a violent crime.
Can we take a moment? And I know we're on your time, but we're going to give you the time you need. Listen, we don't need to confuse this issue.
Yeah.
Illegal immigration is how 90% of the folks who got here. Okay. I mean, they came into the country, they were running from other things. They didn't go through the proper procedures before they got here. Now, if a person commits a crime, I believe with all of my heart, they should be handled, go through the process, and deported. Okay. But if a person has not been, if a person is coming here and trying to seek a better life, that's what America is. I really have an issue with how Trump is handling this. I have an issue the way people are handling this. He's an immigrant too.
Yeah.
Well, and people fail to realize that. And I think what we who were over here on the ships, we didn't ask to come here. We were dropped here.
Right.
Okay. But I just really have a serious problem with how people feel like, well, they illegally here. A lot of people were illegally here and they got legal. Give them the opportunity to do that.
They came through Ellis Island and everything. It was easy for them.
Yeah, but I'm just really concerned. So while I'm glad to hear, and I'm watching carefully who's supporting ICE just doing what they want to do, as opposed to following the process. Because Trump didn't want to follow the process. He just wanted to say, I deported 1,000. Because, Obama, he deported a lot of people, and I think he wants to make sure Obama is no longer noted
for how many he did, but he did it legally.
Right.
Okay.
So again, I want to give a shout out to Representative Sean Lynn for the work that he's doing on these bills. He's one of the attorneys who are down in Lead Calder. We have a few who are elected, and he always does really good criminal justice and those type of bills. So again, I wanted to give him his kudos on that. And then lastly, property tax assessment. We are still fighting Tyler Technology in Newcastle County to make sure that what happened here in Wilmington doesn't happen again, and that we get it corrected soon. Their formula in Wilmington, in my opinion, was extremely flawed, and it has led to potential increases in people paying more in their property taxes, while commercial property taxes were extremely underassessed in the city of Wilmington. And even when some of the ones who were reassessed, their property taxes are going down by 80 and 90%. So again, that doing revenue neutral, that puts the burden on the residential properties. It's not fair to us. People will lose their homes. They will fall behind on their taxes. We're talking about not adding a few, $50, $60 extra. We're talking about adding hundreds and hundreds of dollars extra in taxes a year on people who are already living paycheck to paycheck. So again, I implore any of my council colleagues to join the ones of us who are fighting to make sure we bring this to light, but make sure we fix this as well too.
You mean people are not agreeing to this?
People are not agreeing to it. They just want to do what the administration is doing. We brought this to the administration back in February, and we are now in May. And they're saying they're going to come up with a plan, but it may, for this year, we'll do a 1-year program and everything. That is not good enough. We should not make people pay more at all because we were too lazy to do something. So again, I'm going to give a shout out to Councilwoman Christian Wilhauler, who was the one who brought this to light, and who's been leading this fight. And I call us the rookie class. We were two of the first to join in with her, me and Councilman Hackett, to fight for this. So again, we're going to keep fighting for it. We hope that the rest of our council colleagues join in with us.
Yeah, I certainly do too, but let's put that on our list to follow as well, so we can let people know who's supporting what they need done and who is not.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about, just in the politics today, on our 200th episode, we want to talk a little bit about the craziness of Trump that may help us celebrate a little bit. We'll be right back.
How you doing, community? I'm Alexander Hackett, and I'm here today to talk about Community Staffing Agency. I am the owner of an educational staffing firm, and what we do is we staff all the schools in Delaware with substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, janitorial, and even substitute nurse. So if you have a school and you need our services, please contact me. But also, if you're in the community right now and you're looking for a job, please find me. And the way you can find me is by visiting communitystaffagency.com, but also get into my direct line, 302-252-8982. Please contact me, please reach out. If you need assistance with your school or if you're looking to get into school, Community Staffing Agency is the place to be.
Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a real good conversation. I'm excited. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. Why don't you call somebody real quickly? Tell them Coffee with Curry is on. And let's get after it.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. AMDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
One more time before you wake up in the wild. In your eyes, I see a flower slowly dying.
Together with the Nature Conservancy, you have the power to make a difference. For unspoiled nature, for beautiful wildlife, and for people everywhere. Together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive.
Oh, in the wild, you're gonna make it. The moonlight is here to take you.
Our natural world needs us now. Every day, we lose more lands, waters, and the wild species that depend on them. To learn more, visit nature.org today.
As a mom, I want my kids' lives to be filled with joy and possibility. And I want that for every kid. That's why I support No Kid Hungry. They work in schools and communities to make sure every kid gets the healthy meals they need. Please join me in supporting No Kid Hungry for all kids.
Thank you.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine. It's been really, really hard for me.
And we're back on our 200th viewing for this show. I just want to talk a little bit in the politics today of Donald Trump. He's an interesting guy. He is so pro-Israel, quote unquote, but he is really dancing a whole lot with the Islamic community.
Yeah.
One, they figured him out. Putin, at the airing of this show, we don't know yet, is not going to go and meet like he said he was going to meet. He letting that go. He's going to find a way to support him still. In your mindset, why is he dancing so much with the Middle East, the Islamic community to the level that he is? I'm not saying I'm against the Islamic, but I'm just saying he's so pro.
Yeah.
He causing Harvard to lose all of their money because they allegedly have, anti-Semitism things. Why is this happening?
So again, he is personally benefiting from this, right?
Yes.
From his family's business dealings since he's been in the last, 5 months, his company has earned an extra $300 million with dealings with the Middle East. About the jet. And it's interesting. So the president of Syria was once considered a jihadist terrorist by the U.S. government. Now Trump is meeting with him, shaking hands,
Met him,
validating his power.
Yeah. He was a tough guy, he said. He said he fought a tough fight. Good guy, handsome, and he's cute or something. I can't remember all the words he used. But go ahead.
He met with them just, I think, 1 or 2 days after announcing that he is getting rid of some of the sanctions on them as well, too. And then that all ties in with his big, beautiful, the bestest jet ever. That's going to be his new Air Force One.
Yeah, now we can talk about that right real quick because that is wrong. I was trying to find a better wording, but I couldn't find it quick enough. That is just wrong. Can you imagine if Obama had done this?
Trump would have been on the front line of calling him corrupt and illegitimate president. He's not from here. The concerning thing I have here is Air Force One is a national symbol.
Yeah.
And each president gets their own plane. They retrofit it how they want to their own likings. But it's built by American labor here in America and operated by America. You are now going outside of America while you're talking about, oh, we're going to make America great. Oh, we're going to build in America. Your plane's not even going to be for America. I guess it's okay because his hats come from China. Anyway, his ties come from China. Anyway, his raggedy suits come from China. Anyway, so he's used to getting cheap foreign stuff instead of American stuff. But if the Biden administration had done this, if the Obama administration had done this, the MAGA extremists would have been losing their minds. But I will say, Lisa Kennedy, she is getting a lot of pushback. She's a host on Fox News. And all she said was she had some concerns with taking a jet from Qatar. And she doesn't like that he's meeting with them and removing the sanctions. Fox News, the conservatives who've been saying that Obama and Biden were too friendly with terrorists and that we need to be a strong force and sanctions this, sanctions that. Now she says it about Trump, and now people are calling for her to be fired from her job.
Oh, yeah, they are.
It's, this is the society we're living in now under the Trump administration. I know everyone loves talking about, oh, don't take away my Second Amendment right. Why our First Amendment right is slowly eroding away.
Yeah. I just hope that the independents and the never Trumpers all gang up and give us the majority of the House and the supermajority in the Senate so that we can not only impeach him, but expel him. Because this is just unbelievable. Nothing will stop this guy. And all those, the Mitch McConnells who said that the justice would do it, he packed the courts. Some of his people that he appointed are saying things, are doing things against him, but they're getting so much heat. And it's not the whole country. It's you got that 33% that's with him. I don't care what, and he's getting richer. They're getting poorer. They could care less because it's like he's punching people in the eye that they like, that they want to be punched in the eye. So I don't care if I can't get my health care. I don't care if my children don't eat anymore. We're punching this guy, and it's really sad, man. We're living in sad times.
Yeah, and it was okayed by the Federal Department of Justice, right? Who is appointed by him.
Yeah.
Patty Bond, who used to be the Attorney General of Florida, right? She's our U.S. Attorney General currently. But prior to her being the Attorney General in Florida, she was also a lobbyist at one point in time. And she was a lobbyist for who? Qatar. So again, conflict of interest right there, right? The whole trip that he's on right now with Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he's the one who gave the okay for the 2018 murder of a U.S. American journalist over there who was reporting on what was going on over there under the last Trump administration, and Trump administration did nothing about it. So again, all this whole trip is just reeking of conflicts and ethical violations.
And he can care less because the people are letting him do it, but it will have to stop.
Yeah.
The last 30 seconds of our time today. Do you think it was really an egregious error on Biden's fault to stay in and his people who tried to keep him in office?
Yes.
This is hurting us really bad. And just the Tapper's book is really going to expose some stuff that we probably don't want to see.
Yeah. We should have better plan.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. We should have better plan.
And who do you think is going to be the top contender right now for president?
I mean, I think Harris is going to jump back in. And if she has an opportunity to run a full-fledged campaign without still having to deal with some of his advisors. I think she'll do a lot better. I would say she's probably a top contender right now, and Cory Booker is probably a close second.
Now, do you think that, and I know we got to go, but do you think that does she still have the money, his money that he gave? Did he give her all the campaign money?
Oh, they spent that down.
Oh, they spent that down.
Yeah, anyone running for president will have to start over at zero.
Okay, very good. Well, that's our 200th show. It has been a joy, a privilege. We look forward to 200 more shows. I hope and trust that you will stick with us. Kobe, is there anything else left on your docket?
I have nothing else.
Well, until the next time, we'll see you at the 201st.
Take care,
You've
y'all.
been watching The Source with host Dr. C.T. Curry and co-host Kobe Owens. Tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes.